Okay, Life is Strange fam, here we go, coming off the heels of watching episode 3. Got a lot to talk about today, so sit down, buckle up, get ready. As the usual, spoilers.
Go to hell.
If you haven't watched or played episode 3, then go do that first and come back here and pay me a visit. A lot of crazy stuff going on in episode 3, and the old team at Deck 9 might be making me eat some of my harsh words. Another one in the same vein is the idea that Safi is a shapeshifter. I could see them potentially making her a villain. Again, I'm not convinced that that's at all the route they're gonna take. And that's okay, because I would rather eat my own words and experience another good game than be completely and utterly right and experience another pile of absolute crap.
What emotion is this?
So, with no further ado, let's jump right in to episode 3 and start talking about what happened, how I feel about it, where we're going, all the good juicy stuff.
Ooh, awesome possum.
The episode starts right off the back of the big reveal for episode 2, which was the picture of Max pointing her gun at Safi and aiming to kill, or what we assume is she's aiming to kill. So she wakes up in the morning and is just kind of going about her business like nothing happened, which really did not track very well for me. I was like, why is she just kind of like, la-di-da-di-da-di-da, I'm being framed for murder? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
A face full of beans. You eat like a pig. Try the floor.
I was eating those beans.
But whatever. And then so she's trying to make herself a cup of coffee, and then the detective guy comes over to her house, and the detective guy is now like borderline crazy. He was just a straight and narrow officer in the second episode, and now he's like a schizophrenic who is literally losing his mind. Like, you could maybe argue that he's losing his mind because he just watched the telescope teleport into the room, but like it seemed very far-fetched. It was almost as drastic as the Jefferson turn from like clever villain to absolute maniac.
Max, since you've captured our interest and clearly want to join the conversation, can you please stay still?
But at any rate, he's running around and he's rambling on about stuff, and he's like, Arcadia Bay, and death always follows you. I know this comes all the way back around to you. And then he sees the picture and he's like, I've got her. And then he runs off because he's insane now, apparently. He just completely did a 180 flip on that one. And then What's-Her-Guts is losing her mind, and she eventually reaches out to Moses, and she's like, wait, don't go to the police, I'm not evil, I'll show you that I'm not evil. And so she chooses to meet up at the Overlook, which is the place where Safi was killed, which is like, that's a little sus. If I was Moses, even if you were my friend, I'd be like, you want to meet where our mutual friend was killed and prove to me that you didn't kill her? I mean, I guess.
My friend Safi is dead.
Of all the places to prove something like that, it would be the murder spot, but it just seems sus. I'd be like, nah, I'm out.
Apparently her problem is worse than mine. So why even bother with me? I'm done anyway.
At any rate, he meets her, and then they go through their little sequence of, let me show you how to, or why I have superpowers. And so she does the whole I have superpowers bit, and it's proven, and it's a nice little moment, I guess. It's nice enough. It's not like, oh, that was really good. And it wasn't like, oh, that was really bad. It was just kind of like, whatever. He knows that she has superpowers. It just feels like they're checking a box. Like, we got to get Moses on board. I don't even like him that much of a character. I don't care for much of the side characters. My main favorite character is Reggie.
Remember in your seminar how you said we should take photos of things that scare us?
Well, A+ for following directions, then.
And that dude is almost insignificant, but whatever. So anyway, she proves, and then they see this Lucas, nope, not Lucas, Detective Alderman from the past. He's like a past vision, and they can both see him, and they're like, oh, we better hide from that guy. And then the real detective shows up, and he's like, I'm on to you, you're evil, but no one will believe me, and so I'm gonna figure out how to prove it. Ah, I'm still crazy too. I was like, whatever, dude, like, you need to take a chill pill. And then, so he finds his person from the past, and he's like, hey, who the heck are you? And the past person's like, who the heck are you? And then they like try to hold hands, and they explode and disintegrate out of existence. I essentially assume that that's what they were going for on that one. It felt much like he just got erased from existence, and then and it even like gets proven up later as Moses is researching this detective, and he's like, yeah, this guy doesn't exist, he was never born, I don't know where he came from, but it looks like he was erased from existence. And I was like, yeah, probably because he touched his past self, which apparently is a big no-no in timeline world. You get the choice to save the guy or to not save the guy, and the person I watched did the choice to try and save the guy, which ultimately fails, which makes me wonder like what was really the point in that. It does say that the action will have consequences later, so I guess the verdict is still out as to whether or not the actions will truly have consequences. From there, I feel like you go into the school. Oh, you're trying to investigate this Maya lady who allegedly killed herself, and I feel like that is something cues you on. You're like, that's the lead that I need to follow. And so she goes and she runs into the school, and she's doing a whole bunch of junk in the school that I really didn't care about. I got really bored watching the person play that part. And again, I'm watching it, I'm not playing it, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I was playing it, but watching it, it was pretty dull. And then after all that wraps up, then I think you go to the bar. I feel like this is like a 3-hour episode, and I feel like I'm missing like good chunks of like what happened. But like I sat down and watched it literally maybe 20 minutes ago tops, and I'm already forgetting significant chunks of story, or maybe I'm not, and I'm just summarizing it very quickly. But essentially, from what I can remember, after you go through and figure out what you got to figure out about Maya, you deal with, what is his name? Vin, and you talk to him, and then you talk to Diamond, and then they're not friends. And then you go to the bar, and you can either romance Amanda or you can romance Vin. Those sections were like fun enough. The whole like fake clubbing experience that Amanda did was equal parts weird and bizarre and kind of touching. Like, part of me was like, oh, I kind of like that, and the other part of me was like, that was really stupid. I like it, I guess, as a video game concept, but like imagining anyone doing that in real life just makes me cringe, so I don't know how I felt about that. Then you played a game of Smash or Pass with Vin, where he just asks you like egregiously inappropriate people whether or not you'll smash or pass them, and that goes about as well as you might think. The person I was watching kissed Amanda, not Vin, and then she heads on home from there, and it is when you get home that the rubber hits the road and the story finally starts to blow up in your face. And what we have is Max's house has been broken into, and so immediately like, oh crap, like what's going on here? And then like the person that I watched, good old Dom the Bomb, he went into the other timeline and went downstairs and spied on who it was, and it was her, and they were like, oh no, it's Max. Max is spying on herself. That's weird. And so then while Max is spying on herself, she then goes into the other timeline and confronts herself, And before we go fully down there, I did remember one piece of information that I did forget to touch. You do discover that Lucas Colmenario, he allegedly stole this Maya person's work, and like her work is, or his book that he published and is apparently getting amazing sales on, is just a plagiarism of this Maya person's work.
You lied!
And so that's another angle of the story that we do figure out. Gwen reveals that she canceled the book because it was incendiary.
I told them there was incendiary content in the book.
Safi's book was incendiary? How? What was it about?
I don't even know why someone would use that term to describe content in a book. Like incendiary ammo and is like the only way I've ever known that word to be used, and that's like for flaming ammo and for fire grenades and things of that nature. So apparently the content of this book makes people burst into flames. I don't know, but at any rate, odd word choice. I really think that the storyline they're going down with Lucas Colmenario is very boring at this point. He's just very bland. Oh, here's a guy, we're gonna hate this guy, and here's why. Really hope that they do something else with his character, do something more creative, have him be framed or not at all as evil as the whole world is pointing him out to be. If he's just plain old bad dude, that would be pretty boring. But so yeah, getting back to the main story, the major thing, the reason we're all here. Max's house is broken into by Max, and it's really looking like we're finally gonna get the evil Max that I have been waiting for this whole time.
You were just looking for a shortcut because you can't make friends on your own.
And they go on this semi-epic chase scene. It was all right. I felt like they were trying to make it this intense chase scene, but it was just kind of all right at the end of the day. And then you chase her onto a thing of ice. My camera is about to die, so I might have to try and plug it in. Let's see if I can do that before she quits on me. I'll be right back. All right. Oops. Okay, so going back to what I was talking about, the chase scene ends with them on a fragile lake of ice. It's a frozen over lake, and fake Max already falls in once, and what's her real Max has to pull her out, and it's like, girl, like, chill out, why are you losing your mind over here? And she's talking crazy. She has us all in the moment believing that she is evil Max, this character that we've thought that we wanted for so long. And then the ice all starts to crack, and it looks like they're all gonna fall into this evil ice pit and just die. That's the end of that. And then Max pulls out this Deus Machina-esque power where she slaps the ice. And I'm assuming what's supposed to have happened is the ice went back in time and refroze itself. It's a very weak, all of a sudden thing that she just did to save herself from this other dreadful situation. So ultimately, that was very weak, and I wasn't a fan of that. But what we do get after that is the fake Max being like, "Argh!" And then as she passes out, she, what seems like, transforms back into Safi, which would confirm the shapeshifter theory that's been thrown around the community quite a bit here lately. And honestly, I'm all for that. I would have preferred Evil Max. That's honestly what I wanted to see, but I'm not at all mad about shapeshifting Safi at all. I think that could also be a very interesting thing to go with. And I've said this before, and I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they stole my idea, but I have been going on forums for a very long time writing down how I thought it would be interesting if they had a Life is Strange game that took place where the main character didn't have powers like Sean Diaz, and they were fighting against a superpowered villain that had shape-shifting powers. So in their own kind of way, it makes me feel heard, and so I have a natural attachment to this plot twist, even if they never read anything that I ever wrote and didn't care at all about what I had to say. Makes me feel like they did. And so that was nice. we'll see where they go from here with the story. We're a far cry from the end. We've still got 2 more chapters to go. So far, so good. It's been a roller coaster up. Episode 1, I still think was very boring. Episode 2, we were starting to get somewhere. Episode 3, we're officially somewhere. We are somewhere and somewhere interesting. So let's see what they do. Let's hope that Deck 9 can wrap it up and bring it all home, because they can still go either way here. Like, they have 1 chapter I don't like and 2 chapters that I do like, and we got 2 chapters left. They can tip the scales in either direction at this point. It's definitely a better game than True Colors. I would go on a limb and say that 100 times over, but that's not a very high bar. True Colors is very low on my opinions of games, and so to say that it's better than True Colors isn't saying a whole lot, but it's at least saying that they've improved upon their previous works and their previous formulas. And so I'm gonna go over my notebook of thoughts and ideas with you all, and then after I cover that, give my closing thoughts and opinions of the episode, where we're going from here, and then stay tuned as I watch 4 and 5 and see if I can continue to be made to look like an idiot. Alderman mood change, I already touched base on that, how he just appears and is suddenly just insane in the membrane. I wish they'd handled that a little differently. I really feel like Maya is gearing up to be Rachel Amber 2.0, but with the whole Sophie shapeshifter vibes, I have a lot of theories going on, and I don't know which one I like more. I'm thinking either, if Maya's actually dead, I'm thinking that Sophie killed her. I'm thinking that Maya could be a fake person that shapeshifting Sophie invented, because they're both writers, they both died mysteriously, they both were romantic with Vin at some point in time. There's too many similarities between those 2 characters for me to think that they aren't possibly the same person. So I think that would be an interesting twist if Maya was actually Sophie and Sophie just made her up as a shapeshifter character. That would be really cool. Alternatively, she could be Rachel Amber 2.0, this girl that Sophie loved who's now dead and she's trying to avenge for some stupid reason. And then I had a third theory, that Sophie actually killed Maya herself. And then she's going to kill Max, or the other timeline Max, which would explain why we haven't seen the other timeline Max, because the other timeline Max is dead, and that's why Sophie was surprised when she saw the other Max come into her timeline, which would then bring us all the way back to Sophie's the real villain of this whole thing, which would be another twist that I would be kind of all over. So far so interesting there. Another Storm, if they are going the route of Another Storm, that is entirely lame. I'm not for that theory at all. I don't care if it's a storm or a meteor or something. I don't want to see that again. Hopefully, so we do get to see that Max is getting some of her old powers back, because she can look into the photo and go back into the photo, and that's what kind of triggers this whole thing. And when she does, there's another storm, and it's approaching Caledon, and she's like, another storm, oh no! And it's like, please don't do that again. Favor comes back. The favor from Vin continues to make its reappearance in later episodes, and I'm really liking that. I'm hoping that there's dialogue choices that you can make that will make it to where you don't actually get the dialogue that you need out of Finn, because the person I'm watching keeps not cashing in his favor and then immediately getting what he needs out of Finn anyway. And so that was, I'm hoping that they do something good with that. The music only in moments of calm. Now, this is a complaint that I had from True Colors as well. I don't know that Deck 9 knows how to build a scene with copywritten music. One of the biggest staples of the Life is Strange franchise is how they utilize music in storytelling. And significant moments are heightened or brought down by the music that they use to set the mood.
Your ass, bro. Shit. This way.
Any of the Deck 9 titles have not even touched the concept. You only get copywritten music in moments of calm, and it's honestly garbage. I was complaining about that back when Life is Strange True Colors came out, and here I am still complaining about it now that we're watching Life is Strange Double Exposure. So I think that's a lost cause. I don't think that good use of copywritten music's coming back, and that's a huge part of the art form and as a storytelling mechanism, so that's a big loss in their corner. Not something that's going to make me like turn around and hate the game, but just be aware that it's not something that I enjoy. My main camera died and is prompting me to charge the battery, which I thought that's what I was doing, but that's okay. I've still got you, so I'll talk to you for the rest of the way. The imaginary concert, I already touched base on the imaginary concert. So that leaves us to the prediction portion of this video. What do I think is going to happen next? How can Deck 9 continue to make a fool out of me? And so we know that Safi is a shapeshifter. We don't know immediately that she's a villain, but I would have a hard time believing that she's not a villain. Given all the evidence that's against her. I think that we might, now that we have caught Safi in our custody because we've apprehended her more or less, I think that she might reveal some things or pretend to be a good person only to ultimately betray us in the end and reveal that she is in fact a bad person. I think that she's going to try and regain our trust and then reveal her true colors at the end of episode 4, which seems to be the betrayal episode, where anytime a trusted character betrays our main character, it has to happen at the end of episode 4. So that's my official prediction. I do think that she is bad to the bone. I've given up the idea that we're going to have an evil Max, and so maybe evil Safi is the way that we are going instead. If you all have enjoyed this content, please stick around, continue to watch. I've got books, I've got an animation. I would love the support. And until I get to chapter 4 and get episode edited and put together, I thank you for all of your support coming by and watching. Hopefully you've been enjoying the roller coaster ride that is this new Life is Strange game as much as I have. Hopefully you're enjoying my content on it. Thanks as always, and I'll see you on the next one.